Psalm 104 verse 14, the Bible says, God gave herbs for the service of men. Every herb has a different effect on different parts of the body. And God, in His wisdom and mercy, has given us some herbs that directly affect the liver to the point of cleansing it and toning it.
Forget medicines, protein supplements, or a paleo diet to keep your health in check and stay fit. Dr. Barbara O'Neill believes only in herbs. And if you don't know who Dr. Barbara O'Neill is, click on this video where I talk about her. According to her, herbs keep your body the way it should be, free from diseases, free from stress, as fit as a teenager, and with reduced chances of cancer. But while medical science and nutrition are increasingly improving with various research and different diet plans for different needs, why is Dr. Barbara O'Neill returning to good old herbs, discarding all of them? What's so powerful about herbs that makes them the best medicine you can ever have? If you want to know, this video is exactly for you.
And God, in His wisdom and mercy, has given us some herbs that directly affect the liver to the point of cleansing it and toning it. One is St. Mary's thistle, called milk thistle, and the other is dandelion, and another one is gentian, Gentain, gentian. They're very, very bitter herbs, so it's probably best to take it in a glycerin tincture form or in a tablet form because they're incredibly bitter herbs. And I did mention earlier that lemon plays a role as a tonic to the liver. So to be kind on the liver, plant-based diet, no chemicals, no stimulants. There is a herb that strengthens the heart, and it's called the hawthornberry.
In her studies, Dr. Barbara O'Neill examined each herb's effects and components, noting how they affect different parts of the body. She's particularly interested in slippery elm, a long-standing herbal remedy in North America, cherished by Native Americans for its versatile healing properties. It's used in a powder form both internally and externally. The powder dust is derived from the inner bark of a medium-sized North American tree. Its bark, when dried and powdered, is utilized in various forms such as tablets, capsules, lozenges, and powdered bark for teas or poultices. Dosage recommendations vary by age and should be overseen by a healthcare professional due to potential interactions with medications. Traditionally, it was applied topically in healing salves for wounds, burns, and skin inflammation, and taken orally to alleviate coughs, sore throats, diarrhea, and stomach issues. The key component of slippery elm is mucilage, a substance that transforms into a soothing gel when mixed with water. This gel coats and calms the mouth, throat, stomach, and intestines, providing relief. Additionally, slippery elm contains antioxidants that can help reduce inflammation in conditions like inflammatory bowel diseases. Despite its historical use, scientific research on slippery elm remains limited. However, it is often recommended for various conditions including sore throats, coughs, GERD, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, IBS, diarrhea, and certain skin conditions when used externally. For pregnant women, caution is advised due to potential risks associated with the outer bark, which may impact pregnancy outcomes. It's important to consult a healthcare provider before using slippery elm during pregnancy or while breastfeeding. Recently, she made a poultice combining slippery elm and charcoal for things like bee stings, wasp bites, and poisoning cases. Slippery elm also helps with upset stomachs and congested chests, drawing out impurities from the skin, and, last but not least, hair loss. Regarding hair loss, as mentioned on page 127, it's crucial to identify the cause. Hormonal imbalances, stress, and chemical treatments can all contribute to hair loss.
In fact, I've got a close friend, and she straightened her hair. She's a black American lady. She straightened her hair. After 20 years of straightening her hair, those chemicals, little by little, were killing the hair follicles. And also the amazing hairdos that I see in the African countries, the tightness and the weight of those little braids can certainly cause some hair loss. So again, you have a look at what may be the cause.
Since COVID-19, many people have reported severe hair loss, but new hair growth can indicate recovery. Internally, slippery elm can help heal by soothing the gastrointestinal tract, especially for conditions like sore throats or ulcerated esophagus from reflux. For ulcerated esophagus, it's recommended to take 1 teaspoon of slippery elm in hot water before bed and before meals. Magnesium citrate supplements can also relax the muscles between the esophagus and stomach, reducing reflux symptoms. Most problems occur in the colon because the contents from the small intestine are liquid. When these liquids reach the colon, issues like irritable bowel syndrome, Crohn's disease, colitis, and gastritis can arise. These conditions involve inflammation in different parts of the digestive system. To help soothe and heal the gut lining, a remedy called gut repair is used. If someone has severe colitis, they might experience frequent bowel movements, up to 10 times a day, and the stool should be soft, not liquid, with a bit of foam. Signs like these can indicate what's happening inside the body. If partially digested food appears in the stool, it suggests improper digestion higher up in the system. Very dark stool might indicate bleeding higher in the digestive tract. Fresh blood in the stool might be from hemorrhoids or, sometimes, simply from consuming beetroot juice. If someone is going to the bathroom excessively, taking slippery elm every hour can help. It's a safe herb that can't be overdone. For severe cases, a mix of 80% slippery elm and 10% goldenseal can be used. In such a case, Goldenseal, a root that takes 7 years to grow, is expensive but effective in small amounts. Goldenseal can be purchased as a powder or blended from fine roots. Mixing these ingredients creates the gut repair blend, aimed at helping to heal and soothe the gut. Goldenseal is widely used because it's known as the best tonic for all mucous membranes. It's not just good for mucous membranes, it also fights a wide range of germs. It kills fungi and bacteria, wiping out any harmful pathogens that might be there.
I had a lady on gut repair who'd had irritable bowel for many years. She changed her diet. As we'll see when we go through the journey of the gut, changing the diet is also very important. Remember the 5 allergens? They appear to be incredibly irritating to the gut when it's in an inflamed state. So soft food, sometimes when someone's got irritable bowel, you can't even give them raw food. So they can't, the raw carrot, it's just too harsh on the gut. And they might even have to eat white rice, because you've got to be very, very tender to that gut when it is so inflamed. So we had a lady who came to our program. She was eating the very food that was inflaming it. She didn't know. And we gave her the gut repair, which is this mix here. And she rang me up, about 2 months later. She said, "I'm so much better." She said, "I'm not bleeding from the colon anymore." She said, "I don't have the cramping anymore." She said, "I'm so much better."
Sometimes, even raw vegetables like carrots are too tough to handle. In severe cases, patients may need to stick to soft foods like white rice to soothe their sensitive guts. One of Dr. O'Neill's program participants was unknowingly eating foods that aggravated her condition. After starting on gut repair, a specific mixture, she called them 2 months later with great news. She was feeling much better. No more bleeding or cramping. However, when she switched to slippery elm after running out of gut repair, she found it wasn't as effective for her. Some people find slippery elm sufficient, but for more severe cases, gut repair, which includes Goldenseal, is necessary. The dosage of Goldenseal varies based on the severity of symptoms. For someone experiencing frequent bowel movements, bleeding, and cramps, they might take it every hour. As symptoms improve, the dosage can be reduced to 3 times a day, and then eventually just before bedtime. The approach is adjusted according to each individual's response. Now, we will talk about another chronic problem that many people suffer from because there is no foolproof treatment. This is sinusitis. Sinus issues affect many people. In the 1990s, Mayo Clinic doctors found that fungal infections often cause these problems. A specialist in ear, nose, and throat from our program confirmed seeing a lot of fungal buildup in patients with sinus issues. Allergies to wheat, dairy, oats, or peanuts can make sinus problems worse by causing more mucus. This excess mucus leads to symptoms like constant sniffling, even without a cold. It can also irritate sinus tissues, leading to bacterial and fungal infections. To improve sinus health, it's important to Identify and avoid allergens. Make living spaces cleaner to reduce mold and chemical exposure. Support the body's natural detoxification. Steam inhalation with eucalyptus oil can provide short-term relief. Follow this with cold compresses to close pores and prevent more mucus. Sniffing a bit of Goldenseal powder can also soothe irritated sinuses. You can do this 2 to 3 times a day as needed.
So we had a lady attend our program and she had very, very painful sinus to the point that she was on pain-killing medication every day. She was probably about 38, she was a little overweight, and we looked at her diet, tick, 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 yes, she's eating all the allergens. She didn't know. So she came back a year later and, we told her what to do, stop the foods, start sniffing the Goldenseal, and she started to do that with us. She came back a year later, and when she came in, I didn't know it was her. She'd lost 10 kilos. She looked amazing. She said, "You don't remember me, do you?" And I said, "I'm trying." And as she spoke, I started to recognize her face. She said, "My life has just turned around." She said, after leaving Misty Mountain, she said, "I have not taken one painkiller." You see, the pain was due to the sinus, the block in the sinus. She said, "I've lost weight, as you can see." She said, "You wouldn't believe the quality of life I now have. Do you know life should be good? It should be good every day of our life." She said to me, "My mother was getting very concerned. She thinks I lost too much weight." Mind you, she looked good. So she insisted I have blood tests. She said the blood tests come back perfect.
It's a great example of someone turning their health around with these treatments, especially for mucus-related issues like mouth ulcers. Goldenseal is a powerful herb used in various ways, including a special tea called Digestive tea at Misty Mountain. This tea, affectionately known as Digit, is served to all guests and has shown impressive results. It consists of equal parts dandelion, licorice, gentian, a bitter herb, and half-part Goldenseal, all dried and mixed together. Currently, Goldenseal is hard to find, so they use capsules instead. The preparation involves boiling these dried herbs, 1 teaspoon per cup of water, simmered for 10 minutes, then left to sit while hot to extract their properties. In addition to that, peppermint and fennel are also good for digestion, but they focus on the bitter roots for this tea. It's recommended to drink a 1/4 cup hot just before meals to stimulate digestion, similar to Dr. Kellogg's advice of having hot water before meals to boost digestive juices. The bitterness of the tea itself triggers responses in the brain and digestive glands, making it an effective daily routine for improved digestion, especially helpful for those with low hydrochloric acid levels. When people first try it, they often find it bitter, but the licorice adds a touch of sweetness.
We've also helped a few people that have got very stubborn ulcers. And ulcers often happen with diabetics on the shin. And the reason they happen on the shin is because the blood supply there is quite poor. So we had a lady bring her mother, and her mother was in a wheelchair. We have one room that has disabled access. Most people, when you sprinkle the Goldenseal and cayenne pepper powder, they don't feel the cayenne, because that's one of the problems, they don't have a blood supply, and the blood supply feeds the nerves. And little by little, we saw it shrink up. And we have seen many ulcers heal with that, and people, I've told them what to do, and they've got back to me and they've said, "Wow, this is remarkable."
In Scotland, a woman shared that years ago at an aged care facility, they used maggots to heal wounds. They'd sprinkle them on wounds, wrap them up for 24 hours, and when they removed the wrap, the fat maggots had cleaned the wounds. This practice dates back to wartime, when blowflies laid maggots in untreated wounds. Now they've run out of Goldenseal, so they're trying Aloe Vera.
Aloe Vera, God's skin cream. I used to use it if my babies had nappy rash. Just open the leaf and just slime it all over them. But where it's particularly helpful is for burns. And we've seen some remarkable responses with burns.
Throughout history, from ancient Egypt to modern times, aloe vera has been cherished. 2,000 years ago, Greek scientists saw aloe vera as a cure-all, and Egyptians believed it was the plant of immortality. Egyptian queens like Nefertiti and Cleopatra used it for beauty, and figures like Alexander the Great used it to heal wounds. Today, it's widely used in skincare. Aloe vera is packed with over 75 beneficial compounds. It has vitamins A, C, and E, which protect cells. Enzymes like bradykinase reduce inflammation, and essential minerals help enzyme functions. Sugars and glucomanins keep skin healthy, while anthraquinones ease pain and fight bacteria. Fatty acids like luteol soothe inflammation and kill germs. Hormones like auxins and gibberellins speed up healing and calm inflammation. Aloe vera also gives amino acids, salicylic acid for pain, linin for deep skin penetration, and saponins for cleansing. Today, aloe vera offers many benefits. It helps wounds heal faster by boosting collagen production. Even Alexander the Great and Christopher Columbus used it to treat soldiers' wounds. Plus, it protects against damage from sunlight and radiation by making antioxidant proteins and reducing immune system blockers. Aloe vera fights inflammation and has a unique compound, C-glucosylchromone. It supports the immune system by fighting harmful molecules and strengthening defenses against cancer. It also helps digestion, fights viruses, and might even help prevent cancer. Aloe vera moisturizes skin, making it more elastic and reducing wrinkles. Plus, it's great at fighting off fungi, bacteria, and viruses. Dr. Barbara O'Neill shared a real incident that happened to an Aboriginal maintenance worker, Dave. As she said, the guy got badly burned while burning trash. He quietly went home and showered. His brother saw and called their staff. They quickly applied aloe vera gel from a leaf to his burns. An hour later, he was still in pain, so they thought of taking him to the hospital. But it was Dr. O'Neill who suggested examining him first. Instead of removing the gel from the leaf, which could dry and tear his skin more during dressing changes, she kept the leaf intact. She saw a deep burn on his leg, down to the flesh. Then, they collected plenty of aloe vera and applied it like a puzzle piece over his leg, ensuring the skin stayed moist and intact. This method is crucial because many use aloe vera gel, which dries out when bandaged, making dressing changes painful.
So we cut the leaf and we did like a jigsaw on his leg. Can you see like that? And so we had a few people, because it's so slimy, it's trying to move around. Now you cut off the spikes on the edge, so you just cut it down the middle and open it. And if you leave the skin intact, that will never dry out. That's a very important point. It will not dry out. So a lot of people have used it, but they've just taken the gel out, put it on, bandaged it up, but then they go to change the dressing, and then the edges dry out. So what we did was we put that, and I kept saying, Dave, it's okay. He's like this. So we did it all over his leg. We did it all up his arm. Bit hard to put it on his face, so we just rubbed it on his face. His face actually wasn't that bad, but of course it's painful.
Aloe vera feels slimy at first, but forms a protective layer after about 20 minutes. For healing, they then wrapped his leg, and his pain decreased from 10 to about 8 by mid-afternoon. Assuming all was well, Dr. O'Neill heard nothing until bedtime, when his pain was down to about 4. She advised him not to move and promised to redress the wound in 24 hours. By morning, he sat smiling with only slight discomfort. His pain was now just 1 or 2 out of 10. Amazing, right? Keeping the burn covered prevents painful exposure to air. They changed the aloe dressing after 24 hours, keeping it moist and manageable. They repeated this twice, and by the 3rd day, his face looked much better. This is not just one incident. There was another lady who contacted Dr. Barbara O'Neill about a friend who burned her chest and arm with boiling water. The skin was peeling, and doctors mentioned possible skin grafts, fearing she might not fully use her arm again. With young children, they were in a dilemma. Aloe vera was suggested, and she applied it immediately, meeting them the next day. As you can see, aloe vera proved extremely effective, reducing pain, and promoting rapid recovery. But that's not all. After that, castor oil, from the castor oil plant, is another focus. The ancient use of castor oil as a laxative dates back to the 1550 BCE Ebers Papyrus and even earlier times. The oil penetrates deeply, but doesn't draw out impurities like slippery elm does. It's good for breaking up lumps, bumps, and scar tissues. Castor oil contains a special fatty acid called ricinoleic acid, which has a hydroxyl group on the 12th carbon, making it more polar than other fats. This unique feature allows it to undergo chemical changes that other seed oils can't. Because of its high ricinoleic acid content, castor oil is valuable in making chemicals and sells for a higher price than soybean, sunflower, and canola oils. Castor oil has been historically used both orally to relieve constipation or prepare for intestinal surgery, owing to its ricinoleic acid content, which acts as a laxative in the small intestine. However, its use for simple constipation is discouraged due to its potential to cause severe diarrhea. In case of childbirth, castor oil has been traditionally employed to induce labor. A study from 1984 concluded that it can safely and effectively stimulate labor, offering a more cost-effective and convenient alternative to oxytocin. However, further research is needed to fully understand its effectiveness as a cervical priming and labor induction agent. Studies have shown that women who use castor oil are more likely to initiate labor within 24 hours compared to those who receive no treatment, though its use remains underreported globally. A recent meta-analysis published in a nursing and midwifery journal in 2022 found that castor oil can indeed aid in labor induction and increase the likelihood of vaginal delivery. Moving forward, rosemary is her go-to herb for scalp issues. Rosemary essential oil is potent, though costly to produce. Making a strong solution involves simmering a lot of rosemary in water. Rosemary oil, extracted from the Rosmarinus officinalis plant, is highly valued in skincare and hair care for its antioxidant, anti-inflammatory, and antimicrobial properties. It helps condition and fortify your hair, minimizing damage and breakage to foster stronger hair strands. Research indicates that it may enhance hair growth by boosting scalp circulation, thereby enhancing the delivery of essential nutrients to hair follicles. Moreover, its antioxidant attributes shield hair from oxidative stress and environmental aggressors, such as UV radiation and pollution. Its anti-inflammatory properties can also mitigate hair loss associated with scalp inflammation. While current research supports these benefits, further studies are necessary to establish definitive conclusions. For effective use of rosemary oil in promoting hair growth, dilute it with a carrier oil like jojoba or coconut oil before application. Leave the mixture on the scalp for several hours or overnight, adhering to product guidelines. Consistency is vital, as noticeable results may require several months of regular use. It's advisable to conduct a patch test on sensitive skin before applying extensively to the scalp. For head lice, she suggests mixing slippery elm with thyme essential oil and applying it to the scalp, leaving it on for hours under a shower cap. This mixture also helps with dry scalp, dandruff, and psoriasis. For hair loss, a blend of coconut oil, castor oil, and rosemary essential oil massaged into the scalp overnight is beneficial. When washing out these treatments, Dr. O'Neill suggests choosing shampoos carefully. Avoid those with sodium lauryl sulfate, a chemical that can harm hair follicles and is often used to create foam in shampoos and toothpaste. According to her, there's no specific recipe for homemade shampoo, but using sodium bicarbonate or aloe vera to wash hair can be healthy for both the scalp and the hair roots. See, speaking of all the herbs and their contribution to our health, we circled back to aloe vera again. So, do you believe in the power of herbs for health? How do you incorporate them into your lifestyle? Share your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon for more insights on natural wellness. And apart from using herbs for health and well-being, if you also want to know what Dr. Barbara says about the cure for cancer, just click on this video.